example, you've heard this. We only use 10% of our brain.
Yeah, but that's not real.
There's an entire movie based on that premise.
Lucy.
Yeah. Okay? That premise is false. It was never true. That's another kind of thing. It was never true.
Yeah, that annoyed me. I liked that movie though.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good seeing Scarlett in that. So Morgan Freeman's in it. It's had some good roles. So let's go back to where it started from. You know where that came from? There was a neuroscientist, a brain scientist, who, because you can't do experiments on human brains, that's not ethical, and all right, all you can do is wait till someone gets an accident, and so there's a nail gun that damages this part of the brain. Oh, you lost your language. Damage of this part. Oh, you lost your short-term memory. Oh, you lost your long-term memory. And so you assemble the bits of what the brain is doing by people who were injured. This is a very slow, clumsy process, but that's all you got. The person who had an article said, the brain is so complex. Today, we only know what 10% of it is used for.
And that got...
Overnight, that became we only use 10% of our brain. And that became the mantra of school teachers getting children to rise to their potential. And there was no force operating against that coming into our culture.
It wouldn't have ruined the movie if they didn't have that in there. I mean, there's no reason for that to be in the movie. The movie was fascinating as it was.
They could have just given her some other power, but they went with that 10% thing.
Yeah, but even they didn't even need to do that.
Okay, can I give my critique even of that? Let's say we did only use 10% of our brain.
Okay.
Here's my critique. Even if that were true.
Okay.
The smartest people you know, do they have an inkling of kinetic powers over objects in front of them? Why are we obsessed with extremely high intelligence having power over matter? Why aren't people with extremely high intelligence just good at solving problems? They're just the best people at solving problems in the world.
We want superpowers.
So they're becoming superpowers. That's right. Yeah. And even in the movie that had John Travolta in it.
Oh, yeah.
Phenomenon? Was that the one?
The one he gets struck by lightning?
Right.
Yeah.
And he's up there and he makes a top spin just by spinning his hand, and then the top pops up and spin. It's like, no. If you're smarter than everybody, you'll do smart things. You're not going to sort of levitate objects.
His brain works better. He can make things move.
By what force? No.
By telekinetics.
We know what forces are operating in this world.
There's no way telekinetics is real?
No. Okay. We understand what forces there are.
But people that make things move with their mind, what do you think they're doing? They're lying?
Yes. To themselves or to others?
People get so upset if you say that. Right? What do you think about psychic ability? Think there's any of it?
I'm not convinced by any of it I've ever seen.
Nothing.
Put them in a controlled situation.
Right.
If there is psychic ability, it's not particularly repeatable.
Right. Like maybe an emerging phenomenon.
Okay. But that you have to be invoking forces that don't otherwise show up in a laboratory.
Right.
So that's A. B, the laboratory has a hard time duplicating your claims. Okay. C, if one of your psychic ability is to help the police find the criminal, why is it, they're in a ravine and the thing? Why don't you just give the person's name and their address and their phone number?
Well, it's not that good.
Okay.
It's like a dog. Well, when you get a bloodhound to go find a guy, they're not that good at it.
Okay, I don't know.
They're pretty good at it.
Yeah, I don't know.
They run around the woods and they catch a scent.
They could find somebody else's underwear. Smell it.
Well, the idea is you give them yours so they know what you smell like.
Yeah,
and
but
they go looking for you.
Yeah, how unique are you in 7 billion
for a
people?
Dog? Pretty fucking unique.
Okay, so a dog's good. So
their dogs can smell COVID-19.
So then why are they not good at? So why did you say they weren't good?
They're pretty good, but they're not perfect. It's not like you let a dog loose and it just runs.
Well, they're better than
clip.
any of us would be in that situation.
My point is, it's gathering evidence. It's using its ears, and its ears are actually wafting up smells.
So the amazing Randy, who's a magician, who also exposes frauds and claims. There was a woman who claimed to be a very important psychic, I think in Russia. And she sees events and she can know things. She can look at a photo of you and figure out, all right. So he brings a photo of someone and gets her to talk about it. She looks at it. So, he went to college and he majored in psychology. Turned out to be correct. Although that's the number one major in colleges in the United States. It's the number one major. But she got that correct. Okay. And then she says other things about it where he might be living. And what she got wrong or didn't reveal about him is that he's dead. You think that would have made a signal big enough for her to have captured. And the person was Ted Bundy, the serial killer.
The photos of Ted Bundy?
Yes. And she
didn't.
Those two really important bits of information.
The dead part's kind of important, but the serial killer part is.
You think that would have risen up out of the page.
That's the most interesting thing about him.
So it's disappointing. So if there is psychic power, I'm just very disappointed in it.
Well, that lady. Yeah.
Well, she was heralded by others. I mean, what else do? You're going to go to someone who's not heralded? You go to the best who they claim.
Yeah, I think most of the ones that claim to be psychic are full of shit. And I'm not discounting the possibility of psychic phenomenon.
That's what the amazing Randy did. He bypassed everyone else said was full of shit. And they said, go to her. That's what he did. What else do you want him to do?
Yeah. No, I mean, look, I've never seen any evidence that psychic ability is real, but I've left the door open because I think intuition is a weird thing. And then the ability to think that when something's going to happen and then something does happen, people claim that has taken place. I don't know if it really ever has, but if it ever has, if someone really did tell someone that something was going to happen and it did happen, that to me is very fascinating. I've seen no evidence that it does work that way.
Or you have to, it's got to be a reliable prediction. I mean,
maybe.
Right.
But again, maybe it's an emerging phenomenon. Maybe it's a thing that one day human beings will have as in our natural toolbox.
What's the difference between you manifesting this yet to be fully harnessed power intermittently and other times it doesn't work for you, but sometimes it does?
Well,
right. So what's the difference between that and you hitting on something correctly at random?
Well, one thing would be if you're hitting on something at random, you don't really know, you're guessing. The idea about this phenomenon is that you're getting a signal. It's just not reliable.